Hi, my name's Elizabeth Strimbu, and welcome to FYE 103, Exploration of College Career and Personal Success. Today we're going to be talking about habits of mind and what that means and how that helps you. We're going to be answering the questions, what is habits of mind? Why is this important to me? Where can I use this information? And hopefully start exploring what you feel like your purpose is. We're going to be looking at a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So what does that mean? A growth mindset is a way of thinking that is constantly changing and can be developed. So it's your abilities, your intelligence, your performance, and your talents. So this way of thinking is going through something in your life and then learning from that experience and taking what you've learned ahead and helping you with your goals. So it would be someone who thinks they're not very good at sports, and so they get on a soccer team and try to be their best and learn. Or people with anxiety that will get a job in customer service to try to help them with their anxiety. Or maybe someone's not so great at math, but they want to run their own business, so they learn what they can so that they can do that. So all of those are examples of having a growth mindset. It's extremely important in your life, in your career, for school. If you can learn from your mistakes, you learn from your struggles and you move ahead, that's a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is the complete opposite. It is the abilities, intelligence, and performance are not, and they never change. So it's pretty much stagnant. You probably have seen people with a fixed mindset. They will experience something in their life and they will not be able to move past it. So maybe they experienced a loss of a job and they just kind of give up and think that they can't do anything else in that field, or they kind of give up and don't think that they can do anything better for themselves. So that's something that would be someone who has a fixed mindset. So the examples before, so that would be someone who says, I'm not good at sports, I could never be on a soccer team. Or I'm anxious around people, so I could never work with people. I could never get a job in customer service or at a restaurant. And I'm really, really bad at math, so I can never run my own business. So that is a fixed mindset. It's not being able to move past your experiences and learn from them. One of the really important reasons that a growth mindset is so important is you can do new things. What you've done before does not determine what you do now. So if you had a job that you didn't perform as positively as you wanted to, you can learn from that and still get a job in that field and maybe get a better job. So that would be the strength of having the mindset that you can change your path. You can recover from difficult situations and grow from them. So if you lose a job, if you lose a partner, a relationship, there's a death, you can learn from that and grow. So you can grow closer to your family and friends, and maybe there's someone out there that's better for you, so you can recover from that and move forward. Another thing about having a growth mindset is you can get constructive criticism and you can take that and learn from that and do better. So some people are not so great at getting criticism. They feel like it's an attack on them or their performance. And if you could just take what someone's telling you and grow from that and learn from that, you will be able to go really far. You're always learning. Everything is an opportunity to learn. So if you are doing something that maybe you are not so comfortable doing, you are able to learn from that experience and move forward and do things that kind of scare you. That's all having a growth mindset. Mark Zuckerberg actually credits his mistakes and his learning from his mistakes on the success of Facebook. So a lot of people take what they've learned from things they should have done differently, and they use that to make things better. So that's just one example of a success of a growth mindset. Another thing is a growth mindset fosters resiliency. So you'll always be a lifetime learner. You will try new things and you'll grow from your setbacks from before. It's not just one part of your life that you're resilient in. You can be resilient in your career, your relationships. You can be resilient basically in any part of your life. And so whenever you experience something, instead of looking at it as a negative, you can turn that around and turn it into a positive and live with resiliency. So have you ever known someone, like I said before, that's lost a job, maybe had a financial setback, and they've been able to move on and grow? But there is another person that may have gone through the exact same thing and they're not able to move on and they kind of are stagnant and they kind of give up almost. And so that would be someone with a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset of moving on. And another thing that you can foster with that kind of mindset is grit. And I'm sure you've heard this word before. What grit is it gives you passion and you persevere for meaningful long-term goals. So you're able to look at your future self or what you want to do in your future, and you're able to work really hard towards that. No matter what life throws at you, you're able to move on. You'll keep trying something because you see your goal in the long term rather than just look at what's right in front of you. You're able to see what you're working so hard towards, and maybe that's getting a house or a new car or you're waiting to start a family. All of that is a long-term goal, and every little step that you take in between is getting you closer to that goal. So that's having grit. It's keep doing your best. That's what grit would be. If you put in the work, you'll always get the career, the partner, and the car you always wanted. So those are kind of the commercials that we see on TV right now about the pill that you can take that will make everything happen for you. And I don't know if that's true, but having a growth mindset can definitely help you get there. Another thing is it gives you self-efficacy. So what is self-efficacy? So Albert Bandura, the famous psychologist, defined it as a person's belief in their ability to succeed in a particular situation. So you're probably wondering, how can you do this? So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your past successes. So if you had a successful job and you did really well in it, you're going to look at that and you're going to say, what did I do that was so great and how did I do it? So you're going to look at it and find out, how did that happen? You're going to set small goals and make sure that you note and you celebrate all your progress towards your goals. If your long-term goal is to save money for a house, you're going to look at your smaller goals, how much you're able to put in savings, and you're going to celebrate all of that. You're going to look at your role models and mentors and see how they do it. So maybe there's someone at your job or in your life that you really look up to. They really have it together. You can talk to them, or you can just kind of model yourself after what they have done and see, how did they do it? How did they become successful? You're going to surround yourself with people to help you achieve your goals, because there's nothing harder than trying to work for something and nobody around you is supporting you. So that's really important, is just surround yourself with people who know what you're going for and support you in that. So also, it's really important to manage your self-dialogue, make sure it's positive. It's really easy when we don't do something as well as we would like that we start our negative self-talk, saying that you can't do it, you're never going to get to your goal, you can't, you're not going to succeed. So if you can just turn some of that dialogue around, it really helps you to be positive with yourself and to be gentle with yourself. So another thing that really helps is visualizing you accomplishing your goals. So this is something that a lot of runners will do, marathon runners or Olympic athletes. They'll close their eyes and think about them actually reaching the finish line. And that really helps them moving forward, and it helps them to get to the finish line and run as fast as they can. So just visualizing what you want for your long-term goal and maybe writing it down and looking at that every day before you get out of bed really helps you remember what your purpose is. So Oprah Winfrey, Olympic athlete Michael Phelps, and there's a business guru who all use that visualization to be successful. And to, an Olympic athlete has a huge feat in front of them. And so they just close their eyes, picture that and how they want to get there, and they do it. So that's really important to be able to do. So now we're going to talk about purpose, and I know that for some of you it might be your first year at college. Others of you, this may be just a class that you wanted to take to, to find out what you want to do moving forward. So how do you find your purpose? And it can be in any aspect of your life. So one thing that you want to do is you want to figure out what drives you. There's a lot of people, I think, that go after especially careers that maybe they'll be making a lot of money, but they're not passionate about. So if that is really important to you, if that's what drives you is money, then that's something that you should recognize. Maybe creating things is driving you, or helping others drives you. That makes you feel very good about yourself and something that you want to do for the rest of your life. So that would be something that drives you. And then you're going to look at what gives you energy. Is it solving problems? Is it being outdoors, or finding solutions to problems? What are you willing to give up or sacrifice? So that's a big one, because a lot of people want what they want without putting in the work. So you really have to think about, what are you willing to give up to achieve your goals? Are you willing to give up time away from your family, time away from your partner, sleeping time? Are you willing to give up money? Maybe you have to drive really far, or you have to drive to another city to do something, and so you're going to have to pay all those expenses. So it's thinking about, what are you willing to sacrifice to find your purpose? And then who do you want to support? So maybe you're someone who likes doing volunteer work, and working for a nonprofit, a school, or maybe in healthcare would be for you. Maybe you're someone who is passionate about global technologies, or engineering, or social media. So that would be something that drives you. Maybe you're someone who wants to support or open a small business, or maybe you have a family business that you are going to be going into. So that would be something that you would consider your purpose. So what motivates you? We've been using that word a lot. What makes you tick? Setting goals and achieving them is a huge motivator for people. So being able to check all of those off as you go and reward yourself. For a lot of people, that's their main motivator, is just achieving. Some people are motivated, like I said before, by making money. Some people are motivated by being a positive role model or mentor for others. So sometimes someone will be in a job, and all of a sudden they'll get a leadership position, and they'll realize that people look up to them and want to know how they got where they are. So that would be some people's motivation, is to be that person that people come to. Another motivator is seeing your hard work pay off. So at the end of your goal, you have your house, or you are finally working in a job that you absolutely love, or maybe you got the new car that you wanted. So finding what you want, getting there, and having that is a huge motivator, and it can help you to set even more goals. So being recognized is people's motivation as well. So if you are working in a career, being recognized for your hard work, that you're coming in early, that you're staying late, or that you're a mentor for others, that you're going above and beyond, and you're recognized for that, that is a huge motivator for employees and for people. Or maybe you did really well in school, and having that recognition that you worked so hard and that you achieved that, and being recognized for that is huge. So another thing that people love to do that motivates them to keep doing it is giving back. So whether that be volunteering, whether that be being a mentor, a big brother, big sister, or even helping out family members, but giving back to others is a huge motivator for a lot of people. What happens if you've lost your motivation? And I know that in today's world, there are a lot of people who feel lost and maybe feel like they've lost their motivation. What are they supposed to be doing? They had all these goals and it seems like everything kind of came to a halt. So some things that you can do is you can always remember your long-term goals. And like I said, sometimes it helps to write it down and look at it whenever you feel you're losing it. So whether it be just sticking it on a sticky, putting it on your mirror, looking at it in the morning, or maybe once a week before your week starts, you're looking at your goals so that you can remember what you're working for so hard for. And then another thing that helps is maybe changing your approach, looking at things a different way, and then going at it kind of through the back, or finding a mentor or a role model that can help you, whether it be someone at your job or whether it be someone at school that can just help you kind of get through the rough patch. But finding that person and letting them know, hey, I need a little bit of help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Another thing is recognizing how far you have come. So those little small steps that you've taken and you've been so successful at, you're going to look at those, you're going to remind yourself that you can do it and that you have done so much so far. And then another thing is just breaking things down into a smaller step. So it's the same as writing a huge research paper. You don't write the huge research paper all at once. You break it into smaller steps. You make an outline first. And you start putting your ideas together. So if you could break it down into smaller steps, it can feel less overwhelming. So that's another thing that you can do. And then finally, make sure that you reward yourself for the steps that you've already taken and the goals you have accomplished. So, whether that means taking a long walk or having a spa day or, renting the car of your dreams for a day or going hiking, anything that makes you feel good and that's within your means, make sure that you reward yourself for that. One really important thing to note about a growth mindset, and when you find your purpose and you know what you want to do, is you need to advocate for yourself. So self-advocacy. So what is that? It is the ability to articulate one's needs and make informed decisions about what one needs to support those needs. So I'm sure everyone knows a person in their life that is not afraid of asking for what they want. And sometimes these people can be looked at negatively, but it is so important to be able to ask for what you need and what you want to be successful. So the first thing is you need to know what you need. So that's in your work life, that's in your personal life, and that's also your physical body. So what do you need? And you need to be able to identify that by knowing yourself. So only you know what you need. No one else can tell you. So if that means that you need to take a break for a day and not answer phone calls or emails, or you need to say no to going out with a friend because you're just not feeling it, or maybe you need to take a mental health day from work because you are so overwhelmed, and you will be able to come back stronger. So you need to know yourself. And then you also need to know how to get what you need. So there is nothing wrong for speaking up and, letting a family member know how you feel, or a partner, or being able to tell your manager or supervisor, hey, I'm feeling really, really overloaded right now. I need to take a little bit of a break from this, or I need, someone to come in and help me. So being able to tell someone what you need is huge, because when you are looking at your long-term goals, if you're not able to tell someone that you need something, it's not gonna be as easy to get to as if you're able to advocate for yourself. So these are the references from all of the slides. I really appreciate you coming to our lecture today, and I have also put in some resources for all of the topics that we spoke about today. There's some amazing resources out there if you just want to look a little bit more into what we talked about, or there's some activities you can do. There's a lot of the motivation resources are really great. I've used those myself before, and then there's some self-advocacy resources as well. So if you know that there's someone that you need to have a conversation with and you're a little bit nervous about doing that, make sure that you just click on that resource and it should be able to help you. So if you have